The basic loop control in C++ is the while loop. The while loop tests a condition at the top of the loop, and there's also a version that tests the condition at the bottom of the loop, and we'll look at both of them here. Here in Xcode, I've initialized an array with 5 elements, an integer array with 5 integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I initialize an integer variable called I at 0, and then in the while loop, I test while I is less than 5. So the while loop has a condition in parentheses, and that condition is tested for while it's true. The while loop will continue running, and when that condition gets to false, the while loop will stop. And so here, you'll notice that at the end of the block, I increment I, and so at some point, I will no longer be less than 5, and the while loop will stop. So when I run this, build and run, you notice that it prints out the element 0 is 1, element 1 is 2, etc., until we get to element 4 is 5. And that is the elements of the array. Elements, if you remember, in an array are numbered starting at 0. So element 0, element 1, element 2, element 3, and element number 4. So that's the basic while loop. There's a couple of other controls that are worth knowing about. One of them is the break statement. So if I say if I is equal to 2, then we'll break. Now it will only run up until it sees I is equal to 2, which is this one here, the third one, and at that point it will break. And as we've seen earlier, break branches execution to after the end of the block. So it will break out of the loop and it won't run anymore. So when I compile and run this, you see we get element 0 is 1, element 1 is 2, and when it sees that I is equal to 2 here, it simply breaks out of the loop. There's another control called continue. I'm going to put this inside a little block here, and I'm going to say ++I and continue. So in this case, what happens, what continue does, continue branches back to the beginning of whatever control structure it's in. And in this case, it's in a while loop. Continue is usually used in a loop, and it goes back up to the top and executes that control again. In this case, what it'll do is it will simply skip the printf in this increment. It has its own increment, and it'll continue after that. So it'll simply skip element number 2, which is the 3 here. And if I compile and run, you'll notice it says element 0, element 1, and element 3. It's skipping 2, and that's what the continue statement does. Now, instead of testing at the top, we can test at the bottom. So I'm going to use the cut here on the Mac, which is Command X or Control X on a PC. I'm going to put in a do instead, and I'm going to put that condition at the end with the semicolon there after the condition. And what this does is this puts the test at the end of the loop instead of at the beginning of the loop. And so when I run this, you'll see that it's running exactly as we expect, but in this case, it's not testing that while at the top, it's testing that while at the bottom. You won't see the do while as often as you will see the regular while loop with the test at the top, but you will see it occasionally, and there are circumstances where it's convenient, and so it's good to know about it. The while loop is, of course, inherited from C, and it's the same in both languages. While is a fundamental control in C++. Do while is used less frequently, but it's still important to understand.